Hello, I'm Kelly, and I am in the process of learning futures day trading. I am no expert. I am just sharing what I learn as I learn it because I found that in the beginning it was difficult to understand what most traders are talking about. For example, most everyone would tell you to practice for a long time before you start using real money. However, it took me a while to figure out the practical part of how to practice. So here is an example of what I do to practice daily. I am currently using TradingView. I pay a $14.95 monthly plan, so some of these features might not be available on a free plan. And I'm using the replay function to go backward in time, sometimes called backtesting, and I practice what I am learning. Typically, I just randomly pick a day, but in an effort to show you that this is real and I am not just using a day where I already know what's going to happen, I will use a random number generator to select a day. Okay, so let's go to the random number generator. Let's generate a new day. 12. Okay, so we are going to go into replay, select a day, go backward, I guess September 12th. Okay, and then right here, I am going to start my chart at 6 o'clock in the morning because I have found that in my life, the best chance I have of sitting in front of a computer consistently is from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. So I want to learn how to make this time slot profitable for me, but you can pick a time that works for your life. And I'm going to reset the price scale. All right, here we go. So this is TradingView, and this is how I have my chart set up. I know a lot of people don't like the white background. They like to use dark mode, but I don't know. I just like the white. I use 3 indicators, although one of them isn't really an indicator. I use EMA right here, the blue line, and I use it with a length of 20. And I use VWAP, which is the purple line right here. And then I use this DR IDR thing. Let me see what's I don't know what it is, but what it does is it shows me the different sessions. Like let me zoom out so that you can see. This was the regular trading session from 8:30 to 5 on the previous day. This was the evening trading session, and this was the overnight trading session. And it shows you the the opening range where the low and the high was of the opening range. I mostly like it to tell me when the session times are, but also the limits do help. Okay, so for my trading, what I start out with is I kind of look back at the last 24 hours. I don't really go back any further because for the way I trade, it's not necessary. So I can see right here that we have kind of been in an upward trend for the past 24 hours. We had like a massive pullback and then it's been up ever since. Although it's been up and then this is more like I would say we're more in trading range. Like we're more going up and down. There's not a whole lot of upward movement, but some because if you see this overnight session is definitely higher than the evening session. So it is still increasing, but just slowly increasing. Okay, so now I'm going to zoom in more closely and look at a tighter range. Okay, here I see a pretty distinct pretty distinct trend channel right in here, sort of. But that's broken. And now we went down and now it looks like we're more in a trading range. It looks like we're going up and down and up and down. That's what I'm guessing we are in. This was a pretty big down, but then we came back almost all the way up. So that's what makes me think this is more like a trading range. Although it's possible, looking at it, it's possible that you see how we're kind of the trading range is getting constricted. We're kind of sort of doing this number and kind of sort of going this way. This pattern I have found often if your trading range keeps getting smaller and smaller, then it'll finally hit a point where it's going to break out. It's either going to go up or it's going to go down. So we might be heading in that might be what's happening, but I'm not sure. So let's see. If I were to draw my trading range lines, I'm probably going to go I'm probably going to go like about right here for the bottom. Now you'll notice that I definitely have a whole lot of stuff that comes out of the bottom of this line, but it's better, I have found, and I also have learned that it is better to overshoot, like to have overshoots from your trading range, because that's normal. Like we have, these are like attempts to break out and then they fail. So then they come back up. Okay, so that's going to be my bottom line. My top line is going to be, I don't know, maybe like something like this. And again, we have an overshoot this way, but you see this overshoot was like quickly corrected. I might even like take it lower than that. I don't know. Somewhere in there. Okay, so let's say that's our trading range somewhat that we're in. But because I can see that it appears that we are constricting and we're getting smaller and smaller, I'm also not like married to this trading range. I realize that we are probably going to be breaking out of it at some point. Okay, I don't know which way we're breaking out of it, but I do know that we have been on the whole trending upward. So there's like a slight increase in chance that if we break out, I'm thinking there's a slight increase that it's going to be a breakout up versus a breakout down. Okay, we are near the bottom of this line that I drew for the bottom of the trading range. So I'm going to see what happens next. So I like to just go, especially right now, whenever I'm practicing, like hardcore practicing, I like to just go one bar at a time and read the chart and see what's happening. Okay, wait, before we start, another thing that I like to look at is the pressure. So I count how many bars. Like for example, you see how we had a whole bunch of green bars? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is a lot of green bars all in a row. So we had a lot of pressure going up, but then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming down. So that was like equal amounts of pressure there. And then now we have like a green and a red. Well, 1 green, 2 red, 2 green, 3 red, 3 green, 3 red. You see how it's like all very even? Like if we have, like we're going back and forth in a very even number. It's not like we have 5 red and only 1 green and then 3 red and only 1 green. So I would say this is like the pressure right now is pretty equalized between buying and selling. Okay, so let's see what happens on the next bar. Okay, so we went down and we went down past this line. Now, I mean, maybe this line is wrong. Maybe the line is really supposed to be down here. I don't know. But we're down past that line. At this point, I don't want to be buying. I don't want to be like entering a trade because I'm not sure what's happening next. I'm guessing, if I'm having to guess, I'm guessing that we're going to come down a little bit lower, like about to where we came here, and then that we're going to come back up. But if we start getting past these lows, then I'm going to think about this being a bear trend. And we do have like, these are 2 really solid, good bear trend bars. So maybe our pressure is building towards selling. Let's see. Okay, now we have a green bar and it's like close to a doji. It has a body, but it's a small body. So this is, so maybe we are reversing and going back up, but it's not like, I don't love it as a reversal bar. I don't love it as a signal bar telling me to buy because it could just be indecision. So I'm waiting again. Okay, now I do love this bar as a buy bar. It's a good solid body. And it's sort of, it's very close to being like a double bottom with something in between. It's close to it. It's not exactly it, but it's close enough that I think this is where I would enter. I would enter a long right here. And I'm entering a long thinking that we're going to reach up to at least right here, at least right there, and possibly up here. Okay, so I'm going to buy, and let's see what happens next. A little tiny bar, but okay, it's not very much. It's only $20 worth. However, I like how the tail is on the bottom end, and there's not a ton of wick on the top. So this looks like a momentum upward bar. It's not a guarantee, but I feel like it's a decent bar to stay in the trade. Oh, I don't like that bar. That is kind of like a doji because it has wicks on the top and the bottom that look pretty equal. It's got a small body. And so I'm actually at a loss right here. But let's see. Okay, when this happens and I'm confused by the bars and I'm trying to decide if I want to stay in this and hope that it keeps on going up or if I want to exit just that I don't lose money. Let's look at some like overall big picture stuff. Okay, so this was our low that we had previously. We're at a higher spot, but we had come up and then we had come down. I would like to be, I don't know. I am confused, but I am gonna 1, 2, 3, 4 downward bar, 3 upward bar. We're still, so it's possible that we have some sell pressure, which I said whenever these two bars were solid. Oh man, I feel like I'm doing a bad job for this one. I'm gonna keep it in and see what happens. I'm not feeling super confident. But okay, wait, hold on. Let me redraw here. Remember how we had these things? If I see before it was looking like that, now it's looking like that, and it's looking like something like maybe that. It's definitely like I'm definitely not happy to be long looking at it this way, because if you look at it this way, like you want to be more short. Okay. So I think I'm going to exit here, and it could totally be the wrong move, but it's a safe move. So let's see what happens next. Okay. Well, it's just we're not making much movement, but it's sort of like some, I don't know. They're very similar. Let's see what happens. Okay. Now we're coming down. Now I'm feeling like I am glad that I exited whenever I did because we're coming down. Okay. And I'm not wanting to buy. I'm not wanting to sell at this point. Because, I mean, like if you look at it, it's got a low bottom wick. So I'm not wanting to sell just yet. Okay, so this is like some consolidation that is obviously happening. You can tell that it's some consolidation because these tops are like exactly the same. And then, I mean, we kind of have sort of this bottom area. So when this happens, when consolidation happens, it is likely that we are getting ready for a bigger move. The trick is, in what direction is this bigger move going to go? Okay, so you remember how we had drew these things and these things? Because you see how our highs are definitely getting lower. Like our highs are getting considerably lower, but our lows, like, so you would expect the highs to get lower when you are in a downward trend. Okay. But you would also expect the lows to get lower when you are in a downward trend. Like you would expect this low and then the next low to be down here, kind of like, let's see if there's an example. Okay, here's an example. See how like this low and then this low and then this low, how the lows are getting lower as we're going down. So you would expect that if we were in a downward trend. But instead, the lows are getting slightly higher. Like, well, this high was considerably higher, but this high is slightly higher. So there's no like clear cut, we're in a downward trend or in an upward trend. However, because the highs are getting considerably lower, I'm going to say that if we break this as of right now, I am expecting it to break in the downward direction. Okay, now that's just that's just a kind of what I'm expecting. I am not going to be like buying based on that. I'm not going to be shorting based on that. That's just kind of what I'm thinking I will see, but I'm going to keep watching. So let's see if we keep watching what happens. Okay, now we've gone above this little trading range. Here, let me remove these. We had this like little trading range thing going on here where we were consolidating. We've gone slightly above it. So maybe we're exiting it, but I don't know. Maybe let's see. Okay. Now this one is the first bar that looks like a nice, decent sized body. So maybe we're going to break upward. It's possible, but like I'm also looking at where am I expecting us to stop? If we are going to go up, where am I expecting us to stop? Well, it still could be that we're just like in this trading range, like that we've never exited this trading range that we talked about before. See, and this was just like a short little blip on the trading range. And now we're going to come up here. And we are still like at the lower end of that trading range. So I'm going to try buying and I'm going to see what happens. It's a little bit risky. Okay. We did a good amount up, 145. I am actually happy with that. I am happy to take profit at 145. I know a lot of people would not be, and a lot of people would be saying like to keep going because we're not at the top, but that's just how I like to do it. Okay, I think we're still going to probably go up further because this is still a good signal bar, but I'm going to hold on and see what happens. Okay, we have a little pullback. That's good. That is healthy. We want to see that. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4 green bars. So that was like very expected that after 4 we would see a pullback. Let's see what happens with this pullback. Does it keep going down or does it go up? Okay, we're not sure. We're thinking. This tells me there's a little bit of, we tried to go up, we tried to go down, and we're not sure. But it is still green. So maybe our next one might shoot up a little bit more. Yep. And okay, this one we shot up a little bit more. And our body is like a decent sized body with a long tail below it, which is a good sign for a bull trend bar. And because we're also like above, we're like hitting a new high, I am going to try to buy again. See, like I waited for that little pullback and then I'm going to try to buy again. I mean, technically I could have just held on, but I would have gotten, when we did this pullback, I would have gotten nervous. And I know this about myself. So that's why I like to like exit and take profit. Okay, so now let's see what happens. Okay, we went down. I don't like it, but I like the shape. Like the shape of the bar tells me that it tried to go down and it still could not go down. Also, you can notice we kind of touched the EMA line. So I'm still not thinking that I have to exit my entry at this point. So let's see what happens. Okay, we went up. Now we went down quite a bit too. So, my stop loss, if I was doing this for real and had a stop loss, I would have to watch it. But okay, so this is really cool. You see right here, we actually touched this purple line, which is the VWAP. I have found when we touch the VWAP, a lot of times we like bounce off of it. And like if you're trying to go through the VWAP, sometimes you have to watch out. But you see, like this one went through it fine. But a lot of times you'll kind of bounce off of it. And so now I'm trying to decide, do I want to keep going? We broke above this high that was right here. So we broke above that high. Like a lot of me wants to just like take the profit here and just be happy with it. Because the other thing that I should tell you is that right now, whenever I'm practicing, I am trying to my goal is $200. And so once I make $200, I'm just like happy and that's enough for me. And I find that if I just like get enough, then I have a lot better chance of not risking stuff and losing money. So just being happy with enough is a good practice. So let's see, if we did 95 plus 140, that would be over my $200 goal. So actually, I do think I am going to flatten right here and be happy with this goal with 235. Okay, we'll continue on to see what happens because I do think it probably is going to keep going up. But let's see. Oh, okay. I mean, it went up a little bit, but we also kind of went down, and it's like looking like a doji bar. So for sure, if I had held on to it from the past, like if I didn't close on this candle and I was still holding on to it, then when I see this bar, I am most definitely closing, because this shows indecision and like we're not really sure what's happening in the market, and I don't want to be in the market when it is unsure. So I would be closing here if I hadn't have previously closed. Let's just see what happens next. Okay, now we're maybe coming down, maybe it's just a pullback. I don't know. Oh, wow. Okay. You see, that right there shows you why I am happy to take my smaller profits and just be happy with it. And also this is why I like this particular time from 6 to 7. Now, you see what happened here is I went a little bit past my 7. And on certain days I'm able to do that, but on certain days I'm not able to do that. But the reason why I like this time slot, in addition to me being able to sit down at the computer between 6 and 7, is also that the volatility is not all that crazy. Like starting closer to 8, the volatility gets much more intense, and you can lose a lot of money really fast without realizing it. And you can blow through a stop loss with, I mean, just a wick down can blow through a stop loss. That shows you why I am happy that I trade when I do trade. We could continue on, but for now, that's all. Like here, I'll show you what happens, just in case if people are curious what happens next. Ooh, here's a double bottom. We're probably going to go up. I would be betting on us going up after this. Somewhat, but not that much. Maybe not. Well, you see also this is a double top, so maybe we're going down after this. Yeah. Okay. And more going down. So anyways, that is how I practice. I just started on the time that I want to be trading and run through the bars. Now, right now, you notice how like I'm taking a lot of time. I'm really sitting there. I'm really analyzing things slowly. And of course, it's not going to be the same when I am trading in a live account, and I realize that, but I have to start somewhere and I have to learn somehow. So I'm doing it really slow and bar by bar right now, with the knowledge that I have to get better at that, get faster at that. And I'm already noticing that I'm getting faster at it. So it's coming. And if you practice, it will come for you too. Okay. So I hope that this was helpful for somebody else that's just starting out and learning. I'm going to keep doing these just because I'm going to keep doing them. If there are any questions that you have about why I did anything or how I did anything, I really would be happy to help other people that need help, because I know it was a very confusing it's a very confusing industry, I would say, to start out in. And there's not a lot of true beginner stuff. Like everything out there assumes you already have some type of knowledge of something. And also everything out there is trying to like sell you something. And it feels very scammy. So anyways, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I will not try to sell you anything. I am just here to help. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below.